Okay, here we are. It's Thursday. This is the after lunch edition. I know it keeps on oscillating. Everyone told me I have to keep it with a Facebook is gone. That's terrible. I put a message up on Facebook saying if it fails, go to YouTube. youtube.com/FAU4U. And you'll find me and my other 500 broadcasts. Yeah. They run from 30 minutes to sometimes over 2 hours. Would you believe? That's terrible. But I get yakking. So what the heck? People ask me a question, I answer that question. There we go. We got a little got my high definition camera up here. It's got someone bumped into it, probably me, and jiggled it. It's up here on a tripod. I've got the legs of the tripod taped to my desk in my 100 square foot studio here. I hate to even call it a studio, but it is. And it's live and in color. The audio is good. I know that. Whoops, a little loud. I need to get that, back that off a little bit. They say 4 to 6 inches away. I can turn that down to. There we go. I turned that down to 36 decibels. So how is that? According to I have a volume meter. So as long as I stay in the green and the yellow, I'm good. But when it gets in the red zone, that's when it starts to crack. So we don't want me to crack or pop. It has a pop filter, but Peter Piper picked pickle peppers. Anyway, as you can, let's see. Let's see if we can get our. Yeah, we want. I don't know why. I don't know why my ticker tape wasn't running, but it is now. So it's just like crazy. Every time I look, there's another setting that's not right. Try. Okay. All right. Let's. So there we go. There's that. So all right. I have to do a little housekeeping here. If you could just bear with me a minute. Cursor right on there. Highlight that. We want bold, italic. Let's see how that looks. I think we do. And the size. 36. Let's try it. Save. Play it, baby. There it is. We're going to go with that. I've been working on the ticker tape on the top there. can't hear myself think, and you can't hear me talk. There we go. Let's do that. How's that sound? That's better. Yeah. I knew that would be slightly better, yeah. This image you're seeing here this is what, if you haven't seen Mega Millions, they have these two machines. And this lady, let me, I can make that so you can see it all. There we go. Yeah. I have more pixels on my iPad than we do with the broadcast. So I have to shrink it up a little bit so you can see everything. That's important. And you don't want to see. There we go. That was my Amazon.com. Marilyn bought a sticker for her car so she could go and park, in the beach areas, in the special parking. And they charge like $50 or $60 depending on, how many people are in the car. And it could be $75. But if you pay $85 or something for your annual beach pass, yeah. So she has the annual beach pass, but it's not stuck on the window yet because she got a razor blade off the old one before you put on the new one. Well, it's being shipped. It's shipped. It should be here today. Amazon. I got it 2 days ago. It comes today. I got the other razor blades. These little doodads with the orange. When you click it up and you got your razor blade, and then you retract it so you don't cut yourself. Yeah. Opens packages, all that kind of stuff. Well, I have a bunch of old ones, which I'm throwing away. It's like 10 of them. They're all dull. They're all stained. So I got 18 new ones for $12 or something. And they're a little more compact, a little smaller. That's good. These are good. But they're very sharp. Yeah. So that was a good find. And I got the scraper for the inside of the windshield so we can redo the beach sticker. Yeah. And anyway, so this is what that's what Mega Millions looks like when the next drawing is Friday. I have my trusty little paper here, which you can hear. And the next drawing is Friday, January 16th. This is January 15th. So you can, if you care to, you can hurry up and go get your Mega Millions ticket. And if you want, let me show you. I'll show you my spreadsheet. Let's see, where is it? On the bottom of this? Yeah, here it is. Yeah. All kinds of information on this little puppy. Yeah. Now this is I did a print screen of these spreadsheets are very, with these touch screens, when you get a spreadsheet that works, the formulas are all worked, you copied this way, you site checked it and everything. I think I've about got it. But I mean, look at it, there's a lot of numbers. And it goes out like 40 columns because you have each monthly payment and all that stuff. So I have the, you see where it says first payment and last payment, in the black up on the top. the last two columns. So if you took the annuity, it's a 5% growing payment. So currently, we have a $230 million lottery, according to the lottery people. I didn't make that up. Because the $215 million Mega Millions drawing, as you see there, second from the bottom, on January 13th, which was a couple of days ago, Tuesday, Friday. That's the way Mega Millions works. Powerball is, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, something like that. I think that's 3 times a week. Mega Millions is 2 times a week. Mega Millions is $5 a ticket. Powerball is $2 a ticket. The Mega Millions, I've been following Mega Millions. As you can see, jackpot to a single winner. You can see up on there in a column. This is all custom Jimmy. Good luck. You see right there. It looks like magic marker. I tried to make the font a little different, just so when we get the actual drawing numbers tomorrow night at 10:59, I'm gonna get the live broadcast. Okay. I'm gonna on this iPad over here. I want to get it on live TV. I want to find out which network covers it. Somebody covers it. And show it to you. Hopefully. Anyway, if some individual, one person, was lucky enough to win, get all the numbers and the Mega Millions ball number, that'd be a $230 million grand prize. Jackpot, as they say. If you elected, you see at the top of the column there, if you elect the lump sum, which is the net present value of all the future cash flows, that's what it is. If you're wondering how do they come up with that number, it's the net present value of the future cash flows of that payment I showed you. The first payment that you would get is $3,461,000. See that? I've expanded that one. Yeah, that's your first payment, right? The first annuity payment. Yeah, that's what it is. The next one would be, like $3,600,000 something, and $3,700,000 each year. So this you get first day, and then in a year and a day, let's say, you get the next check. So literally in a year and a day, you're getting, like $7 million worth of money. So if you're a young couple and you won that, maybe you could take the annuity. You'll get $210 million over 30 years. And, you got $3 million, $4 million, $5 million. The payment keeps growing by 5%. And 5% is one hell of an interest rate. For that to be an annuity that grows 5% every year, because it's a lot of money that grows 5% every year. Like you can take that $3,461,000 thing and multiply it by 105%. That's 1.05. Shall we do it on a calculator? Let's just do it. 3,461,000. Here's the calculator. 3,461,000. Oops, too many O's. All right, times 1.05 equals. So the next payment is $3,600,000. Next annual payment, they pay once a year. they pay you the first day, and then the next payment is a year and a day later, and the next one is a year after that, and a year after that. This is what the second payment is. We can multiply that by 1.05, 5, equals 3,000,008. So the third payment, which you get at the end of the second year, remember, because you got the first payment day one, is 3,000,008 times 1.05. Then it grows to 4,000,006. So that annuity, so that's the fourth payment, the third year. What's not to like? So the annuity is not a crazy option to take. Me being over 80, I'll do the lump sum. I want to touch that money, yeah. So now you can see these columns are important because we're going to take the lump sum. Lumpity-dumpity. So the lump sum is $105 million. Now you're not going to get a check for $105 million. You know what you're going to get? You're going to get a check, or however they do it, credit memo. They tell you what you got to do. You need to open up several bank accounts because, if you walked into your basic TD bank with a $79 million check, the lady would probably, fall over. So you divide it up into several. Hopefully they'll do, wire transfers, because I've got the routing and transit number and everything for each bank. I got this little package right here. It's all ready to go. All I got to do is win. Oh, yeah, that's easy. That's all you got to do. It's just your odds of winning don't get too, you buy the ticket, if you get struck by lightning and you win, magical. You actually have a better chance of being struck by lightning, come to think of it. Anyway, winning this lottery is 1 in 290 million. That's almost like everybody in the country. Yeah, imagine 1 in 290 million. So if you win this, it would be a magnificent event. Anyway, that $105 million lump sum, which is the present value of the sum of the future cash flows, just to be perfectly accurate about it, I am a math person, in case you didn't know. I majored in chemistry, biochemistry. I majored in biology. I had a double major. And a serious minor in mathematics. Yeah. So I know how to add and subtract. And I'm not afraid of this spreadsheet business. As you can see, this looks pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah, here it is. I printed out a page. You can hear it rustling around in my little studio setup there. But I'm looking at it with you on electronically because it's brighter. I can make it bigger. So the $105 million jackpot lump sum, you actually don't get that. Actually, what you get is a check. Let's just say they give you a cashier's check for $79,876,000. $79,876,000. Because, so why is it not 105? Why is it 79,876? Because Uncle Sam is going to withhold 24%. Yep, right off the top. Bam! There's a wire transfer right into the old you-know-what. So they get 24 million, right? Right? I mean, 24 to 100 million. So all of a sudden, 24 million, a little more than that, disappears. So that's why it's 7 to 105 million, because 24% goes to Uncle Sam. I think the math is right on that cell. All right. Now, since you won $105 million, and Uncle Sam took away 24%, you're going to owe 13% more because you're going to be in the 37% tax bracket. So you better have that. What's the difference between that? So that 13%, which gets you to 37%, because according to Trump's big, magnanimous, beautiful bill, the maximum tax bracket is 37%. Well, 37% of 105 million, because that's what your earnings were in this year. Yep. You would actually get 66,213,000. So the difference between those two is 13,000,006. So that extra 13% that you're going to have to pay when you file your taxes, because you got to pay 37%, not 24, but they withhold 24. So that means you owe 13. 24 and 13 is 37, right? You got to know all this stuff, So that's 13,000,006. So my suggestion is take 14 million, put it in the side pocket, earning 4.5%, and if you did that every quarter, every 90 days, that'd be $153,000 in interest just on that 13,000,006 that you had to keep in the side pocket, because April, May, or June, whenever you file your taxes, it should be April 15th, right? So if you won in January, April, 15th, that's 3 months. January, February, March, April. So that's 90 days. So if you put that 13,000,006 in the side pocket, and you get 4.5% interest, see it up there in the column in black, 4%, 4.5%, you're going to have $153,000 of earned interest just in that quarter. So, so you got to get this 79 million. That 66 million is what's remaining. So this number right here, that's after the 37% tax. Net after Fed tax. Now, if you live in a state, I think there are 45 states that participate in this Mega Millions drawing. 45 states. There are people standing online in 45 states. Can you believe it? All kinds of shopping centers and gas stations, and they buy a ticket. What the hell? They buy a ticket. Anyone, it's like getting struck by lightning. You can win. 290 million people will lose. Oh, God. But, someone's got to win. Might as well be me. That's what they say. Anyway, so that's what this... I got it all checked. We verify. The only thing I can't verify is what the winning numbers are. I watched the drawing on YouTube, a video of it. They show all the prior, drawings. They won't show you, though. I haven't found a YouTube one where it's live broadcast. If you watch it on YouTube, it's 8 minutes, 6 minutes, 5 minutes, and it counts down, minutes, seconds, and so forth. And then when the numbers are being drawn, another clock comes up and says it's 8 minutes. So it's like an 8-minute delayed broadcast. So who the hell wants to watch that? I want to watch it live. So I'm going to have to go to network TV and watch it on this iPad right here. And I'll figure out what channel. On Xfinity, as you can see, it's popping up there. And we hit live TV. This is not connected to the system, I don't believe. I think this wire, it had to be the wire like that. So we would go to one of the, I'm just looking here. Yeah, CNN. It'd be like a ABC, NBC, CBS, NBC, CBS, maybe the Fox channel would have it. This is the Fox broadcast as opposed to the network. Whoops, we don't want to hear it. That's an advertisement. So you can Jesus. There we go. So you can see it over here, right there. That's a delayed broadcast of the Fox 25 or something in West Palm Beach. Or turn the brightness down a little bit so we can. There we go. Oops. Down the way. There we go. Anyway, so that explains those numbers. This is the scraper I was talking about to put the beach sticker on Marilyn's windshield. Need a razor blade, So we'll do that, put it in an envelope, keep it right in the glove box. Here is a message. Of course, the people, let's see. Yeah, let's, wait a minute, this is good, yeah? I'm going to edit this. Oh, I already did it. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. So this message I sent out to everybody in Facebook. I have, I got over, several thousand friends. Facebook friends, and they can see everything that you post. But for some reason or other, the live broadcast, sometimes my internet signal is good, and sometimes it's not so good. But Facebook is not hanging in there, so I'm going to get a hold of Ecamm Live and see if we can set it up so they can see my settings, so they can try it out for themselves. Yeah, they're kicking in. Yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah, that's what I've done. Yeah. Talking about polo and in between the truckers. All the people were invited out. It's like it's, you watch these polo, it's big money. Polo, they ride around on horses and they hit a ball with a mallet and all this kind of stuff. The ball is the size of like a baseball, but it's made out of polyethylene, it seems to me. as a chemist. And everyone tailgates, and but it's all champagne. And I mean, these people know how to tailgate. You can see the horses riding around. I've taken thousands of pictures of polo, beautiful pictures. The thing to do is to get these video clips like you're seeing there. And the cameras nowadays, like what I have, or the iPhones, you can take these pictures with what do you call it? Where it can be like slow motion. Like everything you're seeing here is like slow motion. It's like half speed. They're riding their butts, but they show you slow motion. Because it's the only way you can. It's the only way you can see it. Here's a guy. He's riding. He's gonna whack that ball. These horses. Each team has to have like 45 horses because they can call a timeout and they can switch horses. Because after all, they're the ones doing the riding. The running. The guys on the horses get a good workout because they're always up on their legs. They're not sitting in the saddle, strolling through the weeds. It's interesting they're talking about polo. Yeah, the equivalent of 9 football fields. So it's a big 2 par 3 golf holes. It's equivalent to 92 basketball courts, 153 tennis courts. Oh, here we go. 500 pickleball courts. I've always wanted to know. 9,600 ping pong tables. Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah. 9 football fields is probably, or 500 pickleball courts. That's a great little addition there. Over here on the screen right. Yeah. But these people that watch polo, they really know how to party. If you go to my site, you see right here where it says 4161100.com. Shall we do it? No, what the hell? Let's do it, since we just talked about polo. Look at his bow shot right there. Let's open the link. There you go. There's my site. You see up in the corner, Jim Wilson. There you go. You see the logo right there? What do you see right here? Yes, sir. I designed that logo over 50 years ago with a digital camera. Would you believe? On a digital-looking tripod, would you believe? I sat down. I was holding a Hasselblad camera, and the original design of my logo. You have to have a logo. Everybody has a logo. Anyway, I wanted one, so I sat down with this guy who's like a commercial artist kind of a fellow. He was a friend of Ed McCluskey, who was the guy I was working for, and World Associates was the name of the company. We were the exclusive franchisee of Kennedy and Cohen, who was the franchisor. And Ed McCluskey had the east coast of Florida, not including Miami, because they had a store in Miami, and then they went over to Tampa, and then we had the Midwest, which included, Chicago, Milwaukee, Cleveland, you name it. So we opened a whole bunch of stores. I was in director of operations. I wasn't accounting. I wasn't sales. So I did everything else. Director of operations. Yeah. And that meant building the buildings, making sure they got built right, taking care of the service, the warehouse, service department, warehouse operations, the control of the merchandise, the caged area that was, essentially financed by a financier. So, and we would buy it out of, the staged area. So we had stuff that came in like in a lockup area, and we'd buy it out of that lockup area to put it in our warehouse so we could sell it. Yeah, a little wrinkle there. Anyway, so there, look at that. There's the ball. The two sticks clicked. There's a name for that. Every time I talk about it, anyway. But that's one of my favorite shots because it's rare that because it happens in a split second. And not many photographers can pull that off with a photo. Now, the cameras these days can shoot video, high definition video, at 30 frames a second. So they can end up with that result, but they're plucking a frame out of the video. I snapped this with pushing the button. Yeah. Anyway, so we go down here. Underneath every one of these pictures, if you will, is a bunch of albums, galleries. So there's equestrian events, but that's not polo. You got soccer. There's our son Daniel in purple when he was a young whippersnapper. About 12 years old maybe then. Yeah. Here we went to Europe for 6 weeks and did all kinds of, it's called the European Tour. The USA soccer people hired me to take pictures. Paid me like $15,000 to take pictures for 6 weeks. I don't remember how I came up with that number, but that's the number. So they gave me $9,000 when I got on the bus. I handed the check to Marilyn. I said, make a deposit. Yeah. So really. So I said, you paid me $9,000 first minute. I don't get on the bus unless I have that check. He handed me the check as I was getting on the bus, and I in turn handed the check over to Marilyn. I said, here you go. Let me endorse that sucker for you. Put it in the bank. He said, it's good. I said, okay. And you pay me $14,000 when I get off the bus, which he did. And he also I gave him a percentage of the photo sales. These people bought a lot of photographs. There's one of the cameras I used right there. The EOS 1DS Mark III. I added. So you can see all the different kinds of photography I have done. With Marilyn, sometimes without Marilyn. Palm Beach, Atlantic. All right, let's look for, let's go back up here. All right. Executive portfolios. Images for iPhone classes. Yeah. Keep on coming down here. USA Soccer. I'm looking for polo. Why do I not see polo? I know why I probably don't see polo. Now, this says a question event, so this may include polo, but I'm surprised the polo picture is. Let's just touch that one. You can always do the back button. It's in here. Let's go back. There's the back button. So how do you see polo pictures? Now you can press. This is the opening picture. Okay, this is Marilyn with Jay Leno. You can just touch this one. But in the event, you're spooling down, look at these other gallery. Every one of these, there are like 36 of these pictures. Like this is unique events. That's pretty unique. Car show. There you go. There's the 12th annual Concours d'Elegance. In 2018, that's 7 years ago, right? Yeah, in another month it'll be 8 years ago. It's February 25th, this January 15th. So this is coming up. I'll have to figure out if I want to go to this. I'll have to find out who's doing it again. It's an hassle trying to get a photo permit. I don't even know if they're having the Concours d'Elegance here in Boca Raton. Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. They've had like 14 or 15 of them. They have these buttons they make, and I have it on my straw hat. So I'm going to touch this now. Just remember I told you underneath each one of these is a gallery of, thousands of pictures or 500 pictures, whatever. 12th annual, let's touch it. There we go. It goes to it. 12th annual Concours d'Elegance, February 25th. And then you can see, look at that. There's Jay Leno. He's got hair blown in the wind. I tell you what, he's a happy-go-lucky guy. You see how he looks right there? Because we followed him around during this thing. He loves cars. So, when he wasn't telling jokes and talking, he was, yeah, look at that. He's trying to make a deal. He's not so happy-go-lucky there. He's trying to see where I can see this car and maybe I want to buy it. And this guy's saying, I don't want to sell it or whatever. So backspace here. So I asked this guy to, show me the spark plugs. These guys got really beautiful cars, fully restored, the beautiful wooden steering wheels, whatever this car is. If you're in the car business. What is it? 1935 Ford, Model 48. There you go. The car through the decades, Class D, owned by... Get a little sneezy-wheezy. There we go. Thomas Harper owns it, lives in the car, and he, I assume, are somewhere in Bedford, Virginia. They put them up. They take these cars and they pack them in a full sealed tractor trailer thing. They don't drive them, 800 miles or 1,000 miles down here. No. And they don't put them on the back of a Tennessee hardtop either. They're inside a tractor trailer. Sometimes they're plastic over top, tarp. They just put them in the tractor trailer, and the tractor trailer is sealed, locked and sealed. And, it takes, overnight, a full day of full night of driving. And the mechanics will oversee the car being put on the tractor trailer. And then when they get to the Boca Raton Resort and Club, the tractor trailers pull up and the cars are offloaded onto the driving range of the golf course, actually. And they're arranged in a certain sequence. And of course, they can push or drive the cars, that far. But they don't drive 1,000 miles or 2,000 miles here, no. Anyway, so here he's written, when Mr. Harper's oldest son reached driving age, he parked the car in the farm shed in 2006. It looked like the shed was going to fall down, so Harper decided it was time to restore the Ford back to its original factory specifications. And that's what he did. His grandfather bought it in 1935. That's what he has on the placard there. And that's the steering wheel and stuff. This is him standing in front of the car. There you go, that's the grandson. Right there. Whoops. You can see him. There he is. Nice man. Don't touch my car. Without it. And then he's got a Virginia license tag. See, Virginia, 1935, 7-176. That was the original license tag that was assigned to that car. So every one of these cars, I mean, if I can get back to the, look at all the cars. I mean, they got cars coming out of your elbows. Oh, look at that. Look who's in this picture. That's Jimmy. See, and on my headband there of that straw hat is buttons for each year of this event. And I have my trusty camera in that hand right there. See that with the green rubber band around it? Green band. Yeah, trusty camera. Now you can use your iPhone, but you look like a schlemiel going to an event. It's supposed to be a professional photographer, and you're taking pictures with an iPhone. Now you got to carry around the right equipment, even though the iPhone might take a better. So not only do they have marvelous cars at this event, I mean, these people pay a couple $100 a ticket to get in here, but it includes, a nice luncheon. You walk around, you can see all the cars. It includes a dinner. They have a dinner on Saturday night. This car show is Saturday during the day. Here's another guy taking a picture. You got a straw hat like I do. Looks like he's taking videos. But he's inside that red, what do you call it? So he's one of the, so was I. But this is a money shot. I was in a really good position. Yeah. Those guys thought they were in the best position. Nope, I was. Actually, I know just exactly where to be. These are all money people. He's driving he's got a prize. Yeah, he's got a ribbon. Now, anybody that's in the car business knows what that car is. And of course, I don't. Because I'm a car guy. I take pictures. Look at this guy. What restaurant does he represent? See if I can get that. That is Cara D'Angelo Ristorante, and his name is Pablo. There you go. There he is. And I had some of this dish with those round pastas and a magical sauce. Oh, it was so good, And they give you, like a nice handful, like a cup. You get a cup. If you were eating that for dinner, it'd be like 2 or 3 cups. But so they're making up like appetizer portions for anybody that would want it. I take pictures. I give my cards to everybody, and then they can go. Here's actually I'm mousing this up. You can get a bigger view. Bigger view, please. There we go. Look at all the people standing in the background. They're all in line waiting to get. Look at this guy. He's chowing down. Yeah. Now, I'll tell you what, between taking pictures and trying to taste this marvelous stuff, he's got a nice Apple Watch. Yeah. Let's see what represents. I can't tell what restaurant. Sex is he says something there, chef. I don't know what restaurant he represents. But you see all the people? This is a big tent. The tent goes on for, a quarter of a mile. Literally. Look at all these little pastry things they put out. People just grab them and put them on their plate. Yeah. Fresh berries on top. Hold my camera up high so you can get an idea of all the people. All these shots are not exactly, publisher quality, but, I put the first 50, which are publisher quality, and then, the 300 but that goes behind them are not necessarily publisher quality, like this one. No, thank you. I know, the phone's interrupted my system. There we go. But you get an idea of what's going on here, right? There's Jimmy and Marilyn. There you go. A little selfie there. Didn't quite get all of Marilyn, so that would not be a good one. Welcome to. That's Jimmy and a cousin. Jimmy with cousin, and everyone is showing off their best parts. There's Jimmy with a press pass. There you go. Yeah. If we're all sticking out our breasts, I lose the press contest. In that picture. There you go. This is a close-up of a picture like that. Oh, there's Marilyn in there. Everyone is showing off their best parts. Except Jimmy, I'm just showing off my slightly enlarged belly. There's the money shot. There's the Boca Hotel. Yep. There's Marilyn. Do I have this not centered right? Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's better. Her chin was missing. See the Boca Hotel in the upper left-hand corner of that picture. There's the two of us. She's doing a little selfie. This is all, 2000, what? 7, I think it is. There's a hat with all my things stuck in the hat. Yeah. Concourses at Boca Raton, Concourse de Eleganza, established 2007. That's a ribbon which, is attached. So we're sitting down enjoying a little libation or something. These guys are cooking like crazy. It's quite an event. So they're showing off, their restaurants to all the local people. Yeah, there's this guy. Let's see where's he's from. Max's Grill. Yeah, Hector. Max's Grill. There you go. He was assigned to dealing with this. And one of his buddies. They're making up the stuff. They might have made it up in the kitchen at Max's and then brought it over. There's par made over there, and then they bring it over and they finish it up here. Every restaurant has their own plan on how they want to do that. There's Maryland. There's a car. There's, I was standing next to a lady from Spain. It's really amazing. People from all over the world fly in to see this show. So it's a lot of money. This is, part of the proceeds go to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Broward County. They're one of the major sponsors. See right there, there's some wind blowing against that. So you can see, look at that. Look, there's an ocean of cars and people. This is looking in one direction. And they got baby strollers, showing off their kids. There's people showing off their cars. The Good Humor truck, everyone remembers that, right? They actually had ice cream bars in there. I had several of them. Truthfully. There's the money shot. We were sitting on the side of this embankment, if you will. Grass. It's part of the golf course. And the Boca Hotel pays for. It's their golf course, right? The Boca Hotel Resort and Club, or the Boca, as they now call it, which I think is the stupidest name I could ever think of. It's the Boca Raton Resort and Club, you fools. It's going to be that until, for another 50 years. But you see the cars are parked on the side of the hill, and it goes all the way down to the left. I have other pictures, but you can see that's kind of looking the other way, and it's just looking towards the Boca Hotel. But if I do the old expander with my finger, you see all these people. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. All these Chevys and all these cars are all lined up, hoods down, people sitting there, and the judges walk up and down, and there's entry fees and that different categories. There you go. There's a more of a wide angle shot. There you go. So there are people sitting there having a little bite to eat. And she got in the way of my shot. But with the hotel rising in that, that's the money shot right there, baby. Yeah, there it is. There's another one. Yeah, I took a lot of that. Oops, sorry. There we go. Paging through all these photos. That one didn't reproduce for some reason. All of this polished chrome. But you see, every one of them has that placard in front, which they register with the Concours d'Elegance. I remember the people that lived across the street from me had one of these cars right here. In live. I mean, they were driving it around. It's a Woody, they called it a Woody. And this was all wood. It went all the way around the sides and the front. Yeah. That was one of their cars. They had several. And here's the gas station thing, which you could pump your fuel. And you could buy this, for $600 or something. This was Sinclair. This is Sinclair aircraft. Look at this, and you have the hose and the crank, and this is how they would. Then this little guy would tell you how much you owe. So these were gas pumps in private airplane places, airports. That's a Harley Davidson guy. I can't think of what that is. Husco. Is that an H? Or an M? Musco? Gasoline. That's an actual gas pump. You can see the thing on the side, and there's a hose coiled up on the other side of this thing. This is the other one I showed you, the Sinclair aircraft. That's what they had outside the tent. They had all kinds of stuff inside the tent. And there you go, there's Jimmy standing right behind with guy looks familiar. I can't remember who it is, but I'm back there behind with him. There you go. I'm pointing at Marilyn, who's taking the picture. There you go. There's Boca Hotel. One of my neighbors, I remember, had one of those. Jay Leno wanted this car. Ooh! Yeah, the Stutz. He's a car collector. I don't know if I'm sure a lot of people know that. That's his hobby. Cars. So I showed you that other shot where he was running around trying to make a deal with that guy. He wants it. There's Jay again, yeah. Whoops. Yeah. I tried to catch all the shots. There's Leno. See his face? He's trying to get their phone numbers so he can make a connection. There he is again. There's Jay Leno walking right by me. I got him. There he goes, yeah. Yeah, he's walking around the crowd. They have it like a look-alike contest. And they've got one guy that supposedly looked like him, but I mean, look at this. That's it. You see him? He's a happy guy. Anyway. That's enough of that. So, I mean, this goes on and on and on. I mean, it's like on ad infinitum. So I just wanted to show you that there is such a thing called 416-1100.com. I posted this on my Facebook and YouTube media. So you see, like, here's YouTube right here. I'm broadcasting on YouTube. Let's see if we can go to YouTube. I should be able to touch this right here and open it up. Open in YouTube. There we go. There we go. Let's see if it picks up some of my broadcasts. You see the little circle is there. There we go. That's my thing. YouTube. You see it with, I got like a card. Oops, I have to, sorry. I've got to shrink that down a little bit. There we go. Either that or do full screen mode. You can see me over here. YouTube is over there. Let's go back. Go back. There we go. We're an hour and 6 minutes into this one. It's almost 2 o'clock. It'll be 2 o'clock in 30 seconds. You see right here. Whoops. There you go. 1:59 and 40 seconds. Yeah. So here's YouTube Live. See, it says live. So in theory, I could be able to touch that. I don't know if it would feedback or what. So here's YouTube Live. See, it says live. Yeah, it's about a. So in theory, I could be able to. I'm going to wave my hand like this. Feedback. Let's see how long it takes before you see my hand wave. There it is. It says live. Yeah. In theory, you can chat and wave my hand like this. And it goes just like it takes. I have to say my hand wave. There it is. It says live. Yeah. You can, out. It's like looking in a mirror, and the audio then it gets all. Yeah. Anyway, so YouTube.com/FAU4U. Sorry, Bob. Here's another one on the top. Touch that right there. So all you got to do is touch it. Say open, and you got it. You can see a lot of the prior broadcasts, like last night. But every one of these is. There's Jimmy. There you go. Camera angle is different. Yeah. That's the beginning of something. Let's see, we need to kill that, yeah. I have over 500 broadcasts dating back a few years. Welcome to Jim Wilson's live broadcast. Welcome this and welcome that. Yep. There's a book I wrote. That's the cover on the book. Anyway, so there's all kinds of things you can see. This is YouTube now, the channel itself, as opposed to, the photographs I take. This picture here, I do not try to take pictures of ladies.
Let's hold the stage. Rhythm takes over. Life turns a new page.
Parts now. That to me is. I did the opposite. Made sure I was in such a. The girls are showing off. They're a little breezy. They're not expecting you to put your head down in the street and look up their skirt. I mean, come on. Disgusting. Anyway, YouTube, if you haven't experienced YouTube, remember it's youtube.com/FAU4U. And then you can see all the stuff that I talk about. Now, I was talking about the lottery here, by the way. And I happen to have some official stuff here. In this sturdy envelope it's locked with my 2-inch wide tape. As you can hear, I have some winning cash in here, and I have my official Mega Millions tickets right there. And these have some winning numbers on it, so either today or tomorrow I'm going to go over to Sultan's across the street and turn this in and buy my lottery, Mega Millions lottery for tomorrow. That's the envelope I'll carry over there. Yep. That's it. And these are the official results, which you can see on there, which I showed you. Photos, please. There we go. We get back to where we can see everything. And this is that page. That's right here, electronically. And we can go full screen on this, please, folks. Yeah, and we're going to go full screen here, too. There we go. Now you can see everything I'm seeing in living color. So this is, you see Mega Millions, the column over on the very left. All the way on the bottom, it says June 16th, which I believe is tomorrow. 230 million. I can afford to win that. Now these things can be won at these lower levels, or they keep rolling over. Sooner or later, someone wins it. Could be another $1 billion run. Who knows? But the $215 million lotto that was pulled on January 13th, and these were the lucky numbers. Now I have some lucky tickets for that one. Yep. And I'm about to get tickets for this one. Hopefully, I'd be on my way to Tallahassee or somewhere to go pick up the check. The jackpot lump sum, all these numbers in red are the one, this whole row is red because it hasn't happened yet. But it is projected to be a $230 million Mega Millions lottery. The lump sum value is $105,100,000. $105 million. Let's just round it to that. Now, because of the tax man, there is a withholding of 24%. So right off the top, 105 shrinks to 79,000,008. So if you were the lucky winner, you would actually walk away with 79,000,008. tomorrow at midnight if you were there, which of course you're not. So on Monday, you would show up at the lottery office somewhere, or a month later. Sometimes these people don't come forward for weeks and weeks and weeks because they're planning with their financial people and their attorneys and all this, and how do you get there, and how do you get back, and how do you secure it, and you can't put $79 million in the trunk of your car. So, you work all that out, and you have to call them in advance and say, okay, all right, what's up? How do I make this happen so that $79,876,000 ends up in my checkbook? I have 4 accounts, 4 different banks. Shall we put, $25 million in each? Well, that's $15 million in each. And then, when you do your tax return for that year, you're going to have to pay another 13% because the maximum tax is 37%. And I would imagine that if you earned $105 million in 1 year, which would be the case if you took the lump sum, then you'd be in the maximum tax bracket. So that's what this column is. So you would owe another $13,600,000 in tax. So that would make that $79 million shrink to $66,213,000. Oh, poor baby. So after the entire 37% tax, you'd end up with, so the $230 million lottery grand prize shrinks to $66,213,000 in round numbers. I rounded it to the nearest thousand. That's why it's 000. It's not going to be 000. It'll be something. But I'm within 1,000 of the right answer. I rounded it. I had the computer round it, to be more accurate. $66,213,000. That'd be after all taxes. But, the withholding leaves you with that. But there's $13 million more in taxes that you have to pay. So my suggestion is you take that $13,663,000. That's what this is. This column says this is the 13% tax. That's the 24% tax. I could rearrange these columns, but I have the columns the way I go. So this is the 24% tax. I ought to slide this column over and move it right in between here. Because you got the 24, the 13 adds up to 37. I think I'll do that. It's not hard to do. You want to watch me do it? Sounds like thunder. All right, let's go to the... I'd rather do it on a bigger iPad than this, but we'll do it on this one. Since this one is plugged into, the computer. All right, you see it's loading up. All right, now, what we're going to do, it won't change any of the math. We're going to go over here to this column, and let's see if I can just move this over one column. Whoops. I don't know what I just did, but I'm going to undo it. There we go. Whenever you're going to do something major like this is what I suggest. See right here, you duplicate it. Bingo. So that way, if you louse this up somehow, you got... So I've got 2 of these that are exactly the same. Yeah, you got that one and that one. So I'm going to work on this one. because what I want to do, I want to move that 13. I want to move this column. Can I do it? Column actions, okay? Oh, God. What can we do here? Can I move the column? That is not the tool for moving the column. Let's... see, what is in this column? This is, yeah, no, I need to move it. Column actions. See, I'm looking for a move, before, after. Let's try before. What do I want? So, I created a column. I don't want to do that. In another life. Yeah, but I gotta undo that. Oops. Darn it. Undo. Where's the undo button? This button right here. There we go. I gotta figure out how to move this column. Yeah. Now I know I can create a column in there and then copy all this over there. I want a column right in between these two. All right. So, column actions. I'm going to add a column before that column. There we go. Now I'm going to take this column, and what am I going to do? I'm going to copy it. And then what am I going to do here? I'm going to paste it. Column actions. Does it say paste? Create pivot. Snap. All right, I've lost place of what I'm doing here. Copy. I think I know what I need to do here. This right here. Let's do this. I moved it. All right, let's see if that works. Did anything get loused up? So now in this spot right here, what do? Delete the column. Bingo. Yeah. All right, I did it. Everything is there. So now you got the 24%, the 13%, and the 37%. All right. A successful move. So in this column right here, just so you understand, you're looking at this page, you have to read the column headings here. This is the balance of the jackpot after the 24% holding. This column here that says 13%, that's the actual Fed tax that you're going to owe whenever you do your taxes for that year. And then when you do that, you're going to pay another $13 million in tax. And then your jackpot then shrinks to $66 million from $79 million eight, because you paid this $13 million six later, after the lottery, after you got your prize and everything, after you got your pictures taken. So then what's this 153,000? What's that number? Where did that come from? Well, that came from that 13,000,006 right above that box. If you put it in an interest-bearing account, because you have the money right away, so you might as well take 13,663 out of the 79 million, put it in the side pocket, because you're going to have to pay it to Uncle Sam as soon as you file your taxes for that year. This withholding occurred right at Lottery Central. You never got the 105 million. You only got 79. Where'd the rest of the money go? That 24% is a withholding that went to Uncle Sam. When you do your taxes, you're not going to get that back, because you're just a regular guy doing a tax return, and you don't have the kind of depreciable assets. You're not a Trump or somebody who has a tax return that has a bunch of other stuff in it, where that would be something other than you're going to have to pay all that 13,663. Now they already deducted, the difference between 105 and 79, which is roughly 24% of the grand prize, right? So you take away the 24% of 105, and you end up with the $79 million figure. Let's just check the cell for that. Yep. So if, if 105 million was, your grand prize, and Uncle Sam takes away 24% of it, that means you have 76% of it. That's why that 76% is there. Because 76% of 105 is 79,876. Now this number right here that I have highlighted with the box, see that? That's the 13% later that you're going to pay. So if you got the 105 million essentially, tomorrow, just making up stories here, then Uncle Sam is going to take away his 24%. You're going to end up with 79.8. Now you're going to owe another 13 million in tax, because you're going to be in the 37% tax bracket. They did not withhold 37%. They withhold 24%. I mean, they may be able to just, if you do it in 90 days, maybe there's no, deduction for that. If they want it immediately, well then what? Why don't they just take 37% withholding instead of 24? I understand they take away 24. So that means you're going to owe 13 million whenever you do your tax return, and that'll be sometime in April, you would think. Because April 15th in general is the last day of the final day you can do your tax return. Now, if you took that $13,663,000, which you're going to pay to Uncle Sam, you might as well put that in the side pocket. Put that in a separate account. Get that away from that $79 million number. You don't want to spend this 13 because if you blow all that money, you better have money for IRS because they're going to come after you, and you'll end up in jail or something. If you know. So if you did put that in the side pocket for 90 days, making up stories, the interest would be this other figure here, $153,000. So, you know, when you're dealing with these tens of millions of numbers, I mean, it's just unimaginable. But even at 4.5%, that's what I pegged the rate at. You can see here. Bingo. There's that button right there. Yep. See, I had 4.5% divided by 4. So that means that's the interest quarterly, which is what it says on the tax column up there. 90 days. So the 90-day accrual would be $153,000. I could do annual. You want to see annual? I just get rid of that divide by 4. We're going to divide by nothing. Hit the check mark. Boom. Now I got to change my column heading because it's not at 90 days. It's I'll have to change that to 12 months. There we go. The interest earned for 12 months on the 13% tax fund. So if you didn't file your taxes for a whole year, that count would accrue up to $600,000 in money. Now, you know, if you paid your taxes on time, which means April 15th, only 3 months would have transpired. I don't know if there'd be any penalty and interest because that's about as fast as you can file a tax return. So 1/4 of 600 is 100. So you'd get, you know, about 150,000 in earnings while you pay that 13% in additional money. Yep. So I properly I got the proper heading for that. So that's the way we'll leave this page right now. So I'm going to just move that right over that very corner, and I'm going to snap. If you don't mind, I'm going to snap a picture of this, put it right in my photo album. There we go. I want to site check all that. Save the photos. I mean, I've already looked at this, but it's. So now I'm going to close out the lottery webpage and go to the photo album and look at the numbers. It's this one right here. I'll put a heart on there now so it appears on the favorite album. So now we're just going to look at it because we moved the column, remember? So you got 24, 13 equals 37. 24 plus 13 equals 37. We have the, this column is the net after that withholding tax. This is actually the 13% tax that's going to be due. And this is the net after all your taxes. All right. So that's explainable. And then if that 13 million sat in an account for a year, it would earn $614,000. Yeah, so Uncle Sam will probably charge you, 1% a month, 12% a year. I don't know what they charge, if you took a whole year to file your tax return. You can pay estimated taxes also. So you just send the $13 million in the hell in 90 days. Would they charge you anything if you filed it after 90 days? I don't know what 90 days means. I actually can't opine to that kind of a number. All right. It's 2:30. I'm feeling a little hungry. I don't know about you. So I think I'm going to take... make sure I get the right one. I have to take the bundle that has... Yeah, this is the one. Put that away. So I don't need this. I'm going to bring this and this. I'm going to go down to Lemongrass and have lunch. How about that? So I'm hungry. Take my phone. Can't forget that. And I have a briefcase here somewhere, probably. I'll find my briefcase. Oh, screw it, I'll just take my phone. I don't need a briefcase. I won't take this with me. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Get a bowl of miso soup, get a... I don't know. Maybe I'll just make something up here. Some thin spaghetti. 2:30. I got to do something, right? Yeah. I have a little lukewarm tea. Yuck! It's cold. We don't want that. All right. So I'm going to say goodbye. You guys have probably had enough of me anyway. This is the notice I put up on Facebook. Try FAU for you with YouTube.com. It's really quite good. It's been reported that Facebook drop off frequently. Well, they drop off after 2 minutes. You know, it's an hour and 40 minutes. They used to hang in right there. I don't know why they're dropping off. Maybe there's something wrong with my Facebook account where, you know, I have some fee I have to pay or something. Welcome to Jim Wilson's live simulcast across YouTube Live and Facebook. Our handle is simply FAU for you on both. They have the same handle. How about that? We broadcast from our compact, however well-equipped 100 square foot studio, in quotation marks, in downtown Boca Raton. You can text message me anytime at 416-1100. Yep. So that was the message I put up on Facebook. And lo and behold, they bailed. I figured, you know what? Let's put this up there so the people get the joke to go to YouTube. I have thousands, literally, of Facebook friends. No, they don't listen to this. Some people do. Most don't. But in case they get cut off, like they do, they can go to YouTube because they don't get cut off. They're still on this broadcast. They were on yesterday's, the whole one. I go back and check. I go back and listen. I make sure the volume levels are set properly. This magnificent microphone, you know, is capable of picking up my voice. I stay 4 to 6 inches away from it. Picks up every nuance of someone's voice. It does. Yipper. Yipper. So we either get the tickets today or tomorrow. I don't know which. I'm glad I did this though. I did a print screen of my iPad that captured this message that I sent on Facebook. And I'm showing it to you right now because Facebook did bail out. Well, you can pick up this episode by going to youtube.com/FAU4U. The backslash is the slash that's right below the question mark on your keyboard. Remember LKJH? We had to memorize the keyboard. ASDFG, semicolon, LKJH. That's your fingers on the first line of your typewriter. ASDFG, semicolon, LKJH. Yeah, that's the 8, that's it right there. Well, if you go the row below, you got B and M, and then all the way, then you got the question mark over there. Yeah. POIUY, yeah, POIUY is up in the top one. Or QWERT is that one up there. See, you got the middle row, the upper row, and the bottom row, yeah. Didn't you take typing in 7th grade? We had to. 7th grade, and you hear all the, okay, begin, and then all the typewriters start. These mechanical old typewriters. Now you got all electronic keyboards and screens, There they were typewriters. Everyone's starting to be the racket of all these, 40 or 35 typewriters clicking at the same time. Yeah, when I was a whippersnipper. They didn't have this nice little iPads that fold up. And unbelievable power in these iPads, which are basically small computers, very high power, with a touch screen and a keyboard. Apple needs to get on the stick here and have touchscreen with the Macs, because that is a tremendous mistake. Because the iPads are getting so good, people are going to say, the hell with the Mac. I can type, I can get my email, I can see, everything I need to see. I have all kinds of, there's literally millions of apps. Here's my favorite news source called Flipboard, FLIPBOARD. Go there. If you don't have Flipboard, you need to be on Flipboard. In this hand, you tell Flipboard the different sources you want to get information from. And in this hand, you tell them all the kinds of different stories you like to read about. I mean, it can be hard news. It can be, not so hard news. And then you can add more and more sources, more and more different types of articles. Like sports, politics, international, Tesla, Chevy, whatever. All the different topics over on the right hand and on the left hand. You got ABC, NBC, CBS, New York Times, New York Post, the Miami Herald, Sports Illustrated, And then it'll go to all these things and it'll pluck out all these stories that you told them the type of stories you want to read. And what do you get? You open this up and that's what you get with Flipboard. Exactly what you want to see. Nothing more and nothing less. What's not to like about that? I love it. Anyway, that's what's going on with Flipboard. This is my number one news source, Flipboard. Now, Flipboard itself gives you nothing. It's just a application. It's a computer program that goes to all these different news sources and plucks out all the stories that you told it you want to read. And then they're all listed. And like drones, Model Y, the Tesla Model S, SpaceX, Elon Musk. Let's go back. Electric vehicles, the App Store, iPhone apps, gold. I begged everyone to buy gold last year. It went up 65%. That's a lot better than 2%. Yeah, and it's gold. We're not talking about buying something goofy. It's the metal. Buy gold coins. I suggested that a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. You know, those $2,000 gold coins are now worth, $4,500. That's a lot of increase, and it's gold. It's not like some stock. It's gold metal. Yeah. If you win the lottery, take 10% of your money and buy gold, please. And then with the other 90%, God bless you, But at least you have that gold, those gold coins hanging you. So if you win, remember, if you win the lottery and you've got, oops, I have to add this back in because, oh gosh, can I do it? My cursor went away. There it is, it's back. Keeps on jumping over to different devices. It's so strange. All right, here we go. Oops, you got to switch it to the other side. I like to be on the right side, please. There you go. Now we're back to normal. So if you win this $105 million, which you're going to get $79 million, you're actually going to get a $79 million check if you elect the lump sum feature. Now you're going to owe $13 million in tax in 4 months, 3 months. Which is going to shrink that $79 million to $66 million. But I suggest that $13 million, if you can hold on for 90 days without paying a penalty, because January, February, March, April, it's 90 days. You're going to earn about $150,000. This is a year now. Right? I have to copy that formula up, by the way. Yeah, it's 12 months. Yeah, I have to decide if I'm going to do that or not. I think for the time being, I don't know. I can't change it here. This is a picture file. Anyway, that's $66 million is going to, that $79 million is going to shrink by $13 million, and you're going to end up with $66 million. Okay. If you can have it in an interest-bearing account, you're going to earn $614,000 divided by 4, which is about $153,000. Yeah, in interest. So if you can hold on to the money without penalty, you're going to earn an extra $153,000. So why not do it? And then write the government the check for the $13,600,000. Boom. Then your tax liability is over. You would have netted out $66 million too, which is a huge amount of money. Yep. Oh, that number. Final payment. No, that can't be right. All right. I moved that column, and now I think I have trouble because this column can't be right. Nope, final payment. That looks like it could be right. Double? No, it's not double. It's more than that. If we go to that spreadsheet, take a go to the spreadsheet. Let's go check something real quick. I'm going to go all the way to the end and see what it says. Oh, yeah. Look at that. It's, so moving that column, I have to change the math. Because here you got the first, second page, you know, and that page, you know, what a mess. I got columns salted all over here. I think I'm just going to take out that column. This right here, the final column. Can I just delete it? Delete it. Let's see what happens. So here's the first payment, second payment, third payment. All right, let's go over here and see what happened back at the end. Now I've got to balance that, you know, a bunch. Let's go here. Yeah, okay. AN16, let's take a look at that. All right. I'll figure it out later. Listen, you all have a great day. I've loused up the spreadsheet. I'm just going to go back where I was because I saved these tabs. Let's see how this one is. This is before I move columns. I'm all the way to the end. That's not right either. Let's go back another one. How's that? That's in balance. In balance. So this is good. This one I'm going to I got that one. This one. It's not doing. Oh, what am I doing here? Get out of here. Ooh. That column. This. So. This is what in heaven's name? Yeah, we're in a big mess now. I know, but we can go back. We can fix it. Let's just save that. Let's come back here again. This one's all loused up. Delete it. All right, let's see what's going on with this one. This is the next most. This is maybe when I move columns. Yeah, this is all out of balance. Take this. I'll delete that one. So let's go here. This was the third one. So now we'll go all the way to the end. Yeah, see. That's all zeros. This is all the right jackpots. So we haven't allowed. That's why you always duplicate those tabs before you. So this one is now good. So now we're just going to hit that little button right there. That saves it. And we're back where we were to this morning before I started playing with it. All right. You've seen me in action. Now you see why you always save those tabs. You duplicate those tabs. So if you make a mistake, spreadsheets are sensitive things. And if you start lousing it up with the touch screens, oh my God, it can be a nightmare. So you know what? You just go back and start today over again. Yeah. to say everything I did today, I wanted to go away. Well, I had to go back 3 tabs to get to last night. Yeah. I have in the very end of that spreadsheet, I've got a little test where it adds up everything and it has to match to the jackpot. And it tells me the difference. And if it's $18, that's the rounding error of pennies, because you can't pay someone, 1/10 of a penny or 70 cents of a penny. But when you compound a penny, over or 7/10 of a penny, if you compound that over, 30 years, it can be $25, $30 one way or the other. So that's why that column said $18. That was 29 years worth of 5% growth. Up and down rounding, because you can't pay half a cent to somebody. So, but that the accrual goes somewhere. It goes in the side bucket. And then all those roundings add up, and then I either owe $18 or I have to pay $18, with the last payment. Yeah. That's the end of that story. I had to finish up the end of that story. And these are just pictures. These are not, these are photographs, print screens. So whenever I discuss it, I use these, because that way if I touch it, these are not actual math columns. This is a print screen. So you can see the same thing, but these are not formulas. This is just pixels. I mean, I can turn it sideways. I can't do that with what do you call it? With an actual spreadsheet. In Outlook or, numbers or Lotus, variety of different spreadsheet programs. Symphony, Lotus and Symphony, oh my God. I had some unbelievable stuff there. Those kinds of files are in prior computers, and backup drives I have, in storage all over the place, which, I started with artificial intelligence, where I had these big files that would actually, you'd put in all the data about a shopping center, and I could tell you whether, things are in balance or not. We do those routines again, but in different computer language. Yepper. All right, sports fans, I'm done. I'm getting hungrier by the second. There's my scraper. There's the latest cover from the New York Post. End of the bromance. End of the romance. End of the bromance. Yeah, because he's full of old crap-o-yoli. Yeah. There's the tag I put up on, what do you call it? In blue and in black. There's another version of the spreadsheet. Yeah, they're working hard on those numbers. A troy ounce of fine silver. That silver has even gone up more than gold. Jeez. Now, when you buy this precious metal like that, you don't have to take possession of it. You can leave it, APMEX is a big, they seem to be a pretty solid company. I've done all my gold and silver purchases at APMEX. You can see it right there. American Precious Metal Exchange. That's what APMEX stands for. Oh, gosh. Never-ending conversation. All right. APM. Whoops. Where'd the O come from? APM. There we go. There's the icon for APMEX. There it is. Touch it. This is live television, folks. There you go. Hi, James. And I've been an elite member since 2019. Gold is 4,634. There's the gold graph for the day. Look for the year. It's gone up in 12 months 73%. From $1,966 an ounce to $4,633. And people have the money earning 1, 2, 3% in a bank. You could have bought the gold coins, gold bullion, and made a 70% profit on gold, the precious metal. Why do you think gold is in the temples and in the pyramids, you know? And the pharaohs buried themselves with all their fine gold vases and all that stuff because gold was a very special thing. It is today, even 5,000 years later. I tried to get all my friends to buy gold last year. I hope they did. Because if they did, you know, you would have made 73%. Let's see silver. It's even bigger. Silver for the year. Oh my God. Oh, shit. It's up 203%. A silver coin, silver bullion is now $93 an ounce. $93 an ounce. It was $24. Now it's $93. It's gone up $62 an ounce. You know, from 24 to 93. So silver has gone way up because silver is used, you know, in all kinds of industrial purposes. You know, silver is you know, when you connect two plugs together, they can either be gold plated or silver plated. There's a lot of silver used in circuit boards. You know, the circuit boards that are in an iPhone, for example. It's all silver solder. Solder is the liquid metal that gets heated up and, you know, makes the connection between all those surface-mounted devices. Yeah. It's generally a silver formulation. Hot, you know. Blowtorch kind of hot. But, you know, it moves real fast through the circuit board so the devices don't get overheated. But the gold or the silver metal will melt so that this connection gets electrically connected to that connection. Yeah. Silver is in the solder in industrial. So you make this piece with that piece, and the silver solder is then heated up, and you touch it on there, and it makes the connection permanently on a circuit board. Times billions and billions. But you don't have to carry around all this stuff. You can keep it locked in the vault. APMEX has huge vaults where they store their clients' gold or silver or precious metals, platinum, palladium, you know. But, you know, it's amazing. Platinum and all that, they haven't, the value of that hasn't really changed that much. So, but gold and silver, I mean, it's gone through the roof. You know, and you can make 70% on a precious metal in a year. That's like, what? How can that be? Now here's over a 5-year period, Gold has gone up 197%. So you could have bought, 5 years ago, you could put gold for $1,400 an ounce. So you would have made $3,000 an ounce. What? That's crazy. How does silver do over a 5-year period? Yeah, look at that. Right up here, one is straight up. $92. Gone up 400% in 5 years. What's not to like when you can make 400% on a precious metal? So you buy, you buy a whole bunch of coins and leave it there because, it's too much metal it's too heavy, and where are you going to put it? Either put it in my vault or leave it in their vault. It's in like the middle of the country somewhere. I forget the city they're in. They're in the middle of the country. Throw a dart in the middle of the country. Don't they have a search? It's funny when you deal with these companies for so long. Yeah. Sure. When you're doing a business with these people, you get free expedited shipping, special volume prices, exclusive flash sales. I mean, they get, I buy gold bullion, not all these, I'm not into numismatic value of the coin, strictly the value of the metal. So I buy bullion coins. Yeah. Shop. Is my shopping? Did they empty my shopping cart? Yeah, they did. I had coins in there too long and they drop off. The buffalo. The gold buffalo. I mean, maple leafs. That used to be the coin of many. Gold coins. Here we go. The Cougaran. Remember, the Cougaran was a hot thing 30 years ago. My God. The U.S. was not minting buffalo. Here you go. See, here's the buffalo. There's the front. There's the back. $4,900 for the coin now. They have all kinds of different quantity prices, but that's put a little heart there. You don't care about the year, and you'll see. See $50, and we can expand it. Here we go. You see, 0.999995. It's marked 1 ounce, 1 troy ounce, $50. And this is the front. You can see the year, 2007. You don't care about the year. I don't care about the year. All right. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Let's get back to. I just came across that article, and I thought it was interesting. APMEX, which is my company, so to speak. All right, that's an article that I saved. We're going to go back here. Full screen, please. And then we're going to say goodbye. It's January 15th. It's Thursday. It's 3:03 p.m. And in 5 seconds, it's going to be 3:04 p.m. Bam, 3:04.